So, just from reading the title of the section, in which I was asked to present the National Meteorological Service's perspective, the question arose as to whether we are aware of the magnitude of climate change and its consequences. Inevitably, the quote of Confucius comes in mind: study the past should you want to define the future. So, following that saying, that quote, I would like to take you back to the fairly distant past, to the 5th century BC, where we have the first attempt to explain various atmospheric phenomena. Ancient Greek philosophers and astronomers, after systematic observation of weather phenomena, found out that they are governed by certain principles. The most important conclusion, however, was that of Hippocrates, that meteorological phenomena recur throughout the year, and then he rightly became the father of climatology. As a maritime people, ancient Greece studied the winds and categorized them. They were the first to divide the Earth's atmosphere into climatic zones and study the effect of the climatic conditions on the life of humans, plants, and animals. In contemporary times, the National Meteorological Service, EMI, has taken on the task of climatology and its mission to support and serve the national defense, the national economy, as well as the community by providing high-quality, innovative weather and climate data. It maintains a digitized archive dating back to 1961 from all its stations operating continuously since 1960 and earlier in the form of written records which are also waiting to be digitized. By processing the observations and comparing them with Climate Atlas, which has been produced by EMI, we can see that there are deviations of the average summer temperature in Greece from the normal value, which is the average of 30 years between 1971 and 2000. So, if one were to study the values of deviation in some cities, such as in Corfu, Thessaloniki, Heraklion, and Larissa, it appears that the increasing trend of the average annual temperature cannot be denied. So, the deviations of the average annual temperature from the normal standard values reached or exceeded 0.8 degrees Celsius, and a gradual increase in temperature is evident starting from the mid-80s to the early 90s. Similarly, if one were to study precipitation, it can be found that in January 2021, Alexandroupolis recorded its rainiest January in the station's history, with 408 millimeters, which means 350 millimeters above the usual value, which translates to 8 to 9 times above normal. Above the normal. In November 2020, climate change manifested itself with extreme weather events. The mainland Greece had amounts of precipitation less than 20% of the normal value. In November, Ioannina and Actium experienced their driest November on record compared to the climate that we know. We know that November is the rainiest month of the year, with highest amounts of precipitation observed in western Greece. On the other hand, Crete, in the same month, experienced extreme rainfall, with precipitation amounts being 4 to 5 times above normal. In an effort to contributing to addressing climate change and its consequences, EMI has a number of actions and activities underway as part of our general strategic planning. Indicatively, I will mention a few, but not in order of importance. An automatic warning system which provides warning for all 74 regional units of our country, 3-day forecast, with automatic operation every 12 hours, and we also have an hourly graph of the intensity of the phenomena with coloring. It covers the most important meteorological parameters such as maximum temperature, minimum temperature, wind, rain, storm and snow, and can also be expanded in other parameters. Indicatively, the warning level for Crete on the 15th October this year is presented here. This application now, it waits to be verified by our service, but we have also procured, and it is the process of being installed, an automatic weather stations which follow WMO requirements and will provide information throughout the country. We are in the process of producing meteorological radars. However, the current conditions are not satisfactory since the availability is limited to 3 out of 8. Now, in cooperation with the Ministry for Climate Change, Crisis and Civil Protection and the Ministry of Shipping and the Aegean, as well as the Ministry of Agricultural Development and Food and the Hellenic Agricultural Insurance Organization, we try to cover the territory as it can be shown on the map. Similarly, we are trying to upgrade the lightings imaging and monitoring network, and we also are installing and operating a nowcasting system. Nowcasting is an integrated system which provides improved forecasts, particularly in cases of severe weather events. The system integrates data from all available instruments, since we want to provide accurate forecasts in the first half an hour and detailed forecasts in 6 hours. And it can be, it has a lot of applications. As a prevention tool, for example, it can be used by the civil protection for informing citizens and mobilizing its various tools. And it can be also used by ELGA for the effective execution of the anti-hailstorm protection program at specific times and places. The role of ME is not to make decisions, but to accurately measure, forecast, and maintain and record our data. In order to be able to meet the requirements and within the framework of its mission, it has undertaken a number of actions and synergies with various agencies and institutions both in Greece and abroad. Indicatively, I will mention some, such as in updating and production of new products using EUMETSAT data. Our country is a member state of EUMETSAT since 1988 and is represented by me. This organization wants to utilize the orbit satellite data in order to have atmospheric variables and climate monitoring. In cooperation with EUMETSAT, ME operates one of the 5 main receiving stations where we are receiving, processing and distributing polar orbit satellite data in order to help other meteorological services in Europe, and also participates in programs such as European Polar Satellite, which consists of 3 polar weather satellites, Meteosat third generations, which consists of geostationary meteorological satellites with high spectral, spatial and temporal resolution, as well as the new program, the so-called European Polar Satellite, which consists of 3 meteorological satellites orbiting also. ME also tries to promote cooperations with meteorological services in other countries, for example, the trilateral collaboration with Cyprus and Israel, mainly in the fields of climate and weather forecasting models. At the same time, we are trying to cooperate with other Balkan nations, providing both expertise and numerical weather model products. We also collaborate with universities and research institutions. So far, we have signed and we are ready to sign MOUs with some of the largest universities in the country, and we also have cooperation with them in research programs. The next steps, which are a major challenge for us, are the amendment of legislations governing the commercialization of our products and services in order to harmonize with the European directive and the policies of WMO for providing unrestricted free data. Now, the issuing of the joint ministerial decision about creating a special account to which the revenues of the services will be assigned by the European organization Eurocontrol in order to ensure its sustainability, its continued effective performance, as well its responsiveness to the demands that the future may bring. Now, let me conclude my presentation. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to inform you about the work of EMI and what we do in order to tackle the challenges of climate change. And of course, I remain at your disposal for any questions that you may have.